How about we change the griddle game? What about a 31-day aged dried brisket that we turn into smash burgers? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to the special edition of the Flat Top King. Today on the porch, we got Cook It with Tim, becoming one of our really good friends. He's been on here several times, and he has brought me and our audience a fantastic surprise. We have a 31-day dry aged brisket, and he's going to quickly explain why that's important.
That means good. It's ready to go. The reason why that I decided to do a dry aged brisket is because whenever you dry age meat, and specifically brisket, what happens is you're reducing the moisture that's in the meat so it seeps out during the dry aging process, and those enzymes begin to break down in meat. If you guys didn't know that, I'm getting all nerdy for a second. And what happens is that breaking down the enzyme process flavors the meat, and it deepens the rich flavor of the meat. That's why when you dry age meat for anywhere from 30 to 60 days, it intensifies the flavor. That may be overpowering for some, but I tend to love what it does for steaks.
Yep.
I've never done a dry aged brisket and turned it into smash burgers, and that's what we're going to do. And the outer layer, this is all bacteria that is formed to protect what is inside, which is going to be a very tender and a dark maroon flavor. So Neil, if you will, start the carving process, and what it looks like, it's going to be very different from a typical brisket.
The crazy thing is, when you mentioned steaks, the best steak I still think that I've ever had is from a steakhouse in Chicago called Benny's. It was I don't remember how many days it was aged, but it was a bone-in, dry-aged ribeye. And still today, the flavor still reigns supreme on any steak I've ever had. And I really take it back to the dry-aged.
So what we're going to do now is cut the brisket in half. We want to reveal to you what is inside and what we're looking for as far as the look of the meat, and it's easier to work with. Now that right there is a great representation to see what dry aging the meat has done to what it actually looks like. That deep dark maroon color is what we're looking for, and any of the dark brown spots, that's the bacteria on the outside of the meat that has broken down the enzymes to tenderize what you see right here on the middle. And so when Neil's cutting it in half, he's going to trim away as much as possible of that outside to reveal that beautiful inside of the meat, and then I'm just gonna let him do his thing. And we're gonna keep a lot of the fat intact because that's what's gonna flavor the burgers. It's gonna intensify the flavor. It almost looks like a damn steak. So 3 quick things to cover real quick. So when I put this thing in the dry ager, I did not trim it. I didn't put any seasoning on it. All I did, as you saw in the very beginning of this video, I simply hung it up in my specific fridge and let it hang for 31 days to get that dry aged flavoring component of what we're looking for. Now, on the outside part of this meat, of what Neil is carving away, can you actually use that? Well, I recommend that you don't. You could use it in soups or stews, but I tell you what, your dog Lassie will love this stuff. It was I think it was like $4.50 a pound. And so what's going to happen is Neil trims this. As you're seeing, we're going to lose at least 50% of the outside of what this is called the pellicle. We're going to lose 50% of the meat, maybe even more. And during the dry aging process, you lose all the moisture that is in the meat. Not all, but a lot of it. And so we're going to lose 30% there, and then we're going to lose another 50%. So we go from a $4.50 per pound brisket and taking it all the way up to as much as $15 a pound for a really good, high-quality smash burger. And that's what we're going to end up with and what we're going to taste in a little bit.
For somebody like me that's never even done this, the only thing I can say is work within your means, especially when using a knife. The meat has a different pull to it. As you mentioned, the charcuterie style, your meat's going to pull a little bit more. That's why I'm breaking it down into smaller pieces. You don't see me trimming like a whole brisket like you typically would.
Right.
It's more of a comfort level. And you spend all that money, you're going to lose the money. So you want to make sure that everything is, how would you say, done to where you feel comfortable so you're not losing a lot.
You're trying to get to, as much as possible, a deep dark maroon color and get rid of all the other brown. So that right there, it's a little dark maroon. It really looks like it's dark maroon, but it's actually brown, and it's firm. You can see right there, and that really needs to be cut away. So we got the meat all trimmed up. This is what is left is usable, and this is the pellicle that is all trimmed off. And one thing that Neil said to me, it is different than trimming a brisket doing it this way. You want to tell them what you told me?
Yes, you did not trim this, first of all. So it does seem like a lot of trim. However, we trimmed a little bit more. Typically on a brisket, you'd have a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. That was not the case on this one because since it is dry aged, all that surface was exposed. It might seem like a lot of trim, but you're kind of like compounding the problem.
Right.
You're trimming more often what you typically would, and you're trimming it for the first time, which is why this seems so little. We've already tarred it, so the sheet tray is 1.8 pounds. So perfect.
4 pounds of actual meat of what we're left to work with.
Okay.
And then let's see what all the pellicle trim and the excess fat is. Wow.
7.1 minus 1.8.
That's about 5 1/4, 3/4 of a pound of waste.
So
at the end of the day, this started out, I'll have to go back
60-40.
and look, but I think I started out with 15.5 pound brisket and we're left with 4.
caviar.
Oh! So Neil, this is your pass number 2?
Pass and reduce.
No. Okay, so Neil's running this through the grinder twice on the same setting, right?
I just like the grind texture. You can see right here, this is the first grind pass through, and this is the second one. I just think with the grinder I have, I like going through twice with a large attachment. I like to have a little chunk to it,
Yeah.
where it's not just like pureed.
Right.
But going through twice helps emulsify the fat a little bit more and gets it mixed up. All right, just weighing them out. So typically we like to do about 2.5 to 3 ounces when it comes to a smash burger. Me and Tim talked, and with the fat ratio that we have, we felt like the fat ratio's definitely not 75-25 or 70-30. So we don't know what it is.
We're going to find out how much grease is left on that griddle in a few minutes.
That's right. So to combat that, we're just guessing 3.5 ounces, and we're going to see how much fat renders out. But we all know fat is flavor, so this should be very flavorful. If we're wrong, we're wrong.
And you can see what the actual color of the meat looks like. You can tell it's definitely not
Looks
like
like
an
sausage.
80-20. That's what I said when it was coming out of the grind. It looks just like sausage.
We got the Traeger Flat Rock warmed up. I have some homemade pickles that we've done off to the side. Some mustard mayonnaise. Keeping it very simple because I do feel like...
You want to highlight the flavor and what the beef's going to produce for us.
Amen. Some thinly white shaved onions. And we just have some brioche buns and some nice cheddar cheese. The process will happen pretty fast, so hang on. We want to make sure that we nail it because obviously when you have that expensive meat, the flavor needs to reign supreme. You ready?
Yep, let's get it.
Basically 2 different ways to do this. I'm going to do a dry toast. And why? Because there's so much fat on this beef that if you do a mayonnaise or a butter base, I just feel like it's going to be too greasy. Sometimes I actually prefer a dry toast. The griddle's about 575 to 500. We'll make sure we spread them out pretty good. Make sure we're holding it for about, God, that beef smell immediately. Immediately.
Dude, the smell on that.
And just season them up just a little bit with your favorite burger seasoning.
Okay, so I'm surprised a little bit. I'm not seeing as much fat render
Shrinkage?
as I thought.
Not seeing as much shrinkage.
No. I'm quite surprised. Holy smokes, that looks amazing.
It smells rich.
Technically it is.
Well, I mean, that's what you want. You're wanting for a more potent flavor.
Yeah,
aroma
yeah,
to come out of the
potent.
meat.
That's the right word, potent.
Talking about the shrinkage, I'm very impressed with the fact that the burger is held together as much as it has because of how much fat was in there. I thought it'd be a lot crumbly.
Well, now that I think about it, it really comes down to the science and the process because you're removing 40% of the moisture of the meat, so therefore it's going to retain more of the actual meat because the enzymes have helped break down to remove that moisture to tenderize it. So therefore, we're left, now that I think about it, with a high-grade quality meat and the fat
More
didn't-
protein.
Yeah. I just didn't think about it when it comes to brisket
You should
in
have.
this capacity.
The audience expects that from this one.
I really didn't. I don't know why. All right, so we're gonna finish this with a little bit of finely shredded onion. Not too much because we don't overpower the beef. We want to highlight the protein. About 2 to 3 pickles each. Top bun's got mustard. The bottom has a little light coating of mayo. That looks absolutely phenomenal.
I gotta be honest, it doesn't look that fatty.
Cheers.
Cheers, Neil. It goes back, Amy, to that word you said. That deep, intense, almost a charcuterie flavor profile in the meat.
Everything that
Rich.
dry aged needs to be. That is dry aged through and through.
Wow.
That is a step above. I'm glad we didn't overdress it. You got to be
No.
careful if you really enjoy the dry aged.
Even just, I think, the right amount of seasoning, enough to catch up some of the essence of smash that in here, because it would have taken away from the flavor of the meat. That's phenomenal.
Okay.
Wow. Never done before on my page with this. This is outstanding, Neil.
This is it's not better than expected because we had high expectations.
Absolutely.
But it's every single thing that we thought it would be. It did not drop in value.
Well, you could almost label as if you went to a very high-end quality steakhouse and you ordered the top burger that was on their menu that cost around $40 to $50, and that's what I feel like I'm paying for if I got this at a restaurant because of the quality that's coming out and the flavor. Aaron? We just finished up these amazing smash burgers with my buddy Neil, and I want to say that he's just become a really good friend of mine, and I love his seasonings and what we did here today. He did most of the cooking. We did a little bit of prep together. I did the front end hard work with dry aging the meat, and phenomenal burger. I don't know what else to say other than
My half's gone and your half's still there.
you're a bit too busy talking. Well, I guess it's why I got a slim look.
Yeah. All right, guys, there you go. There is a fantastic rendition of something that even Tim mentioned that's never been done before between the both of us. I haven't really thought of it. I'm so glad you did. I'm glad I got a chance to experience it because I'm telling you, it's worth the effort, it's worth the time, and it's worth the experience. I think that's what cooking's all about. It's the journey and it's the passion to get there. And this is hands down one of the best flavor profiles that's ever been on this deck. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
As always, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. There's a join button down below to a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Last but not least, thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share it with your friends. Peace. Hey guys, welcome to the special edition of the Flat Top King. Today on the porch, we got Cook It with Tim, become one of our really good friends. He's been on here several times, and he has brung me and our audience a fantastic surprise. We have a 31-day dry-aged brisket, and he's going to quickly explain why that's important.
Cut away enough of the meat. The longer you dry age it, it'll intensify and give it somewhat of that charcuterie, blue cheesy notes whenever you're biting into it.
Amen. You said it well. That's actually the first time I've ever heard that, but that's true.
And we've not stopped for the last, 10 minutes?
We're liquid gold. We need our own channel.
Why do you dry age meat? Well, the main reason that you dry... Am I doing this for you?
I was just going to use your clip.
Oh, okay. All right. 3, 2, 1.
I probably won't take out much of that fat. I think it'll be good with that fat in there.
That'll be good with the burger.
All right, Tim, you need to make the call. Smash that. Burger seasoning, salt and pepper.
Oh, smash it all the way. I'm like falling in love with that. And I will be honest with you. So let me see you smash that. I have found that this actually makes a great steak seasoning. I used it in a video of mine. I don't even know that I even tagged you, but I use it as a steak seasoning. And my wife has said, that's one of the better steaks that you've cooked in a long time.
A lot of people tell me they like this on eggs. I'm more of a salt and pepper kind of guy. But they'll use that on popcorn. And then I watch this, and people are like going to the grocery store to buy popcorn. They should put that on there.
I believe it.
We like our steaks with like half smash, half shake.
Really?
Try smash that
I've done
and
it
shake
both
that.
ways, but I've really come back to that.
Let me tell you.
I would be confident enough in those seasonings that it won't ruin it. In fact, even if it's a low-grade steak or a low-quality meat, it'll make it taste that much better.
Paid endorsement. I don't think you worded that correctly. What you said earlier was you're surprised there was not as much shrinkage.